Hi friends, I have another craft for you today. Today we are doing fabric butterflies. Isn't it adorable? I love it. It's so cute. It's simple. It's not with a sewing machine. It's hand sewn. I'll show you how I did it. And then of course you can do it your own way. But so cool. You'll need some fabric. And then I got a front and a back. This is one of those, they call them doll clothespins or something because people make dolls out of them, but they look, they're not your traditional clothespin. So it makes a cute body. And I was hoping to slide it through, but, through my thing, but it put way too much body on top. So I just glued it. So I have some glue. Some polyfill or old stuffing from a pillow or anything you want to stuff it with, scrap fabric, whatever, to make it puffy. And then you can use yarn or floss. I'm using this cream floss to sew it with, but yarn's fine. Whatever you have at home, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. All right, so let's get started. All right, so I am using an old Pillasham. I bought it at an estate sale. Look, I've cut out all of these butterflies. So with the Pillasham, it already has a cover. Like this is my top, and it's pretty. So I have a just a little butterfly template I pulled off the internet. And then I put it where I wanted it on there and I cut it out. I drew around it. But with a Pillasham, it's got your front piece of fabric and your back piece of fabric. So you will need enough fabric to cut out your butterfly. Oh, throw that out of the way. And, oh goodness, what a mess. I suggest cutting the front and the back at the same time. So if you have one piece of fabric, no problem. Fold it in half. Draw around a template. And I am using this cool pen marker that is for sewing. I've just recently tried to pick up sewing for crafts. And all you have to do is spray some water on it and it disappears. Amazing. You don't have to wash it. You just spray water on it and it disappears. But whatever you want, you can draw it on the back of your fabric, the part that's going to be on the inside so you can't see it. Whatever. Always, always, always options. So I went ahead and cut mine out so we didn't have to do that part on video. So this one happens to be quilted. The top part of it's quilted, and then there's just a plain fabric piece on the back. And the reason why I said to fold your fabric over, trace it, and cut it together is so it matches and you don't have to try to cut two separate pieces and try to match them. I used pinking shears, which are these things that are, they have little zigzag, and that is so fabric doesn't fray. And you know me, I like the old kind of look. And on this you can even see where my fabric is blue, where I outlined it, because I wanted it exactly on this part of the fabric. But I'm just going to grab water and spray on it and off it goes. No more blue. So I used pinking shears. You can use regular shears. It's whatever you want to do. We are going to just do a basic stitch, up, down, up, down, up, down, all the way around. So this one, as I said, got off track, is already quilted. Doesn't need to be quilted. It just happens to be quilted. Just regular fabric's fine. So because we're going to stuff it, so this is kind of extra stuffed, but it doesn't need to be. So this will look super cute with yarn. So if you happen to have yarn, and you can use like a contrasting color if you want. I am using off-white So it's not contrasting. You can't really, you can see it on the green. I don't know if you can, but on the green you can see where it is, where I've sewn. So then I am just going to, how many did I do on this? I can't remember. I think I did several because I want to see it. So I think I have like 4 layers because this is thin stuff. So if it was yarn, I'd do one layer. But I'm gonna hold it together like this, and I'm doing a smaller batch so I don't knock myself up, hopefully. Okay, so I have 4 strands of this thin stuff, and I need to get it in this needle. So a friend of mine gave me a needle threader because they know I can't see great. So I'm just gonna stick that through, hook my thread through and pull it. Yay. All right, we made it. So I'm gonna tie a knot at the bottom. So I'm gonna have to do this again because this will not go all the way around my butterfly. And then I am going to, so this needle has a big eye so I could put more stuff through. And it's a nice big one. It's not one of those teeny tiny ones that you're hemming pants with or something. Something I can see. So if that works for you, that's great. I'm gonna start at the middle of my butterfly. And I am going to go inside the fabric to hide my knot. So in between the front piece and the back piece. And I'm just gonna go through, and then my knot will hide on the inside. And then, like I said, I'm just holding it together, and I'm gonna sew up and down and up and down around. And so I am starting there at the middle. I'm just coming in, I don't know, just a little ways, maybe 1/4 of an inch. And I'm just gonna go up and down and up and down, all the way around. And I'm not meeting it so you can actually see the stitches. I'm making sure I'm holding both pieces of fabric so I'm not leaving a huge gap. There are going to be little spaces. Oops, it's my back piece. That's my other side, see? Then I'm just going up and down, up and down. So let me tell you a couple of things I tried that didn't work great. I tried what do you call it? Canvas needles. Have you ever sewed on a canvas? It looks like cross stitch, but it's plastic. It's a plastic canvas. You can make some really neat things out of that and on it, and you're using usually larger yarn and doing like a cross stitch pattern on that. So I tried that. It did not work because it would not go through the fabric. So that didn't work. And then they make these Dole needles. I don't think they're upholstery needles. They're pointy, but they're usually plastic, and they don't have a sharp point. It's a nub kind of a thing, and I use it with my crochet to hide my ends. I thread the ends of my crochet when I'm finished with my project and work it in and out into the project. That also did not work because the end's not a point. You're gonna need a point to go through this. And I'm just going up and down, talking to you at the same time. And I'm about 1/4 of the way done. So if you need some help with a pattern, well, if you're watching this on a video, then you have somewhat access to the internet. if you need some help, I can send you one. This one's just a basic. So I think I Googled, what did I Google? Butterfly template, I'm pretty sure. And I got a simple one because cutting in and out, I didn't think that was a good idea. So, but here's also a thing. I'm not great at seeing your all's comments. So sorry about that. Again, that's not my main focus with these videos. So, it's just to help other people who are trying to help people do a craft. And so I'm sorry about that, but I will try to pay attention in case you want one of these. So you saw how much thread I had, and I'll probably make it halfway around before I have to tie a knot. Have you seen these before? Have you seen something like this? If you made a bunch of it, you could make a garland. That would be so cute. Now, I don't know if you noticed when I opened up my pillow sham that I had made a few different butterflies out of that. So when I first did it, this first one, I'm like, oh, I can't cut, or I don't want to draw and cut a butterfly over near where the zipper is, where you can stuff your pillow in, you know. There's usually a zipper, or at least a flap, because I wanted to do 2 pieces of fabric at one time to simplify life. And so I did it right the first time. But prepping for this time, I did not. And I said, oh, this looks so cute. And I like this section. And so I cut out a piece from this pillow sham over next to the zipper. And I noticed how easy it was to cut. Not that it's hard to cut with these pinking shears, but you know, it went through the fabric. It was easier. Didn't think it was quite so thick or something. It wasn't. I just had the top of this thing and I didn't have the back. And we can't do this craft with just one side. So I'm gonna do something else with that piece. All right, look, that much string brought me halfway. I'm gonna go ahead and tie a knot on the inside. So I am going to come through and I tie the knot and hide it on the inside. So actually I'm gonna come back up. And I'm only gonna go through my top, and I'll fix it with the back here in a minute. So I'm only gonna come through the top and tie a knot. And then start again. So let's see if I have enough thread that I can tie a knot like you do when you're sewing clothes. Nope. All right, where's my end? There it is. All right, put that somewhere safe. And I'm just gonna loop through what I just sewed. Made a little hole and tie a knot. So trim that off. It's hiding in the in-between of my pieces, of the front piece and the back piece of my butterfly. And then I'm gonna get some more string. Yarn would look really cute with this. So we're only going around so far. And then, I definitely, or should have enough string. All right. We're gonna leave a gap. Oh yeah, that's a lot of string. We're gonna leave a gap to stuff our butterfly. So here's my needle threader again. Thank you, friend. Stuff that through. Is this the end I want to come through? Yep. Hook it. And pull it through. Alrighty, tie a knot at the end, just like the first time. Whoops. Put my ends together. All right. Straighten this out. And I'm gonna start at the back where I was at the front, right? I came in the fuzz. I came in through the front and tied my knot and hit it in the middle. So right where I would have come out of the back is where I'm gonna come in with my thread. And I see that my knot's got too much of a tail because I wanna hide that. All right, and then the same difference, up, down, up, down, up, down. So remember, your front's gonna be most visible. So you wanna make sure that you're paying more attention to what the front looks like. But I think a garland would be so awesome with this. You could put a magnet on the back and put it on your refrigerator, or it could be like a bow on a package. You could do all kinds of things with this, with these things. And you can do different ones. All butterflies, you can add in whatever your favorite thing is, flowers or whatever. It's a fun little thing that you can do just sitting in front of the television, or you don't have to think too much about it. So up, down, up, down. I don't know what I'm going to do with mine. Probably sit on my desk. Or I could put a push pin through it and let it hang on my bulletin board. I don't know. I do love butterflies. It's got enough oomph to it. You can just set it up, prop it up against something, like on a shelf. It could be a shelf sitter, whatever. All right, so I started at the base, at the middle of my butterfly, and I am going to get up to the top of my big wings. And I'm going to stuff it. It doesn't take a lot of stuffing, but you may get as poofy as you want. It's yours. And then I went down the middle of the body, because again, I told you my original thought was to put the clothespin down. So you'd see clothespin on the front and the back. But I didn't care for how high the head would be doing that. So I'll make sure I'm getting all my sides, front side and back side. Okay, so I'm at the top. I have this much space, and I'm gonna go ahead and stuff it. So I have some polyfill down here, a bag of stuffing, and I am just gonna pull out some pieces and start stuffing. And so I'm still got my thread and needle right over here. I'm gonna make sure I'm in between the front and the back piece of fabric, and I am going to stuff the furthest part away first. So I'm going up the big wing. And mine's a little tricky because I've got all that extra stuffing in there anyway, but I need to make sure that I'm in between the two pieces of fabric, and I'm fluffing it up. So just grabbing a little, stuffing a little, pushing until I like how it turns out. So now I'm on the lower part of this first wing. Now I'm on my current wing that I'm sewing. So since we're stuffing before we're sewing all the way, right, which we have to because we can't get in there if we seal it all up tight as a drum, we're gonna have to be careful putting our finishing, closing our butterfly. Let's see. So I need to stuff right where I'm sewing, but I'm gonna have to just keep it in there while I'm sewing around. And if any squishes out, just pull it out. It's no big deal. So I'm gonna try to make it kind of balanced. Same amount on both sides. And then I'm gonna finish sewing. So I stuff the stuffing in there so it's out of my way. I hold my front and back together and I finish sewing. So up, down, up, down. And I got my little pinking shear edges. And if any stuffing comes out, I'll just pull it out. All right, so it takes up more space once you stuff it, so pay attention that your front and your back piece of your butterfly matches or comes together, so that, because it won't work if you don't have it sewn together on both sides. So I'm taking more of a peek on the back to make sure it matches up. Did I get all my stuffing stuffed in there? Stuff it a little bit more. All right. So I'm almost to the center. So I'm going to meet back where I started. Almost there, maybe a couple more stitches. Yikes, stabbed myself. Okay, one more? Yeah, one more. All right. Now we have a complete butterfly. So I am squishing it to get my fluff where I want it. You don't have to do this part necessarily. You could just glue it on there, but I want to sew it in half. I want to make a line in half, and the reason why I'm doing that is that I don't have I have my stuffing balanced, is my thought. So if I don't do this part and I just glue on my clothespin, then the stuffing could shift. And I want to try to keep half on one side and half on the other. So I'm making my little line. It doesn't really matter what it looks like, right? Because I'm hiding it with my clothespin, but I am going to try to make it center-ish. One more. All right, I'm at the bottom. So I need to make a knot, and I'm just going to make a knot at the very base of my butterfly. Haha, I had plenty of thread. Alrighty. Whoops, wrong scissors. And this is what we ended up with. Isn't that cute? All right. Do they match? Not exactly. All right, now I have my glue gun. It's been hot over here. So I am going to hide this little slit and just glue right on there. So I am going to put it on. Lego. Okay, I'm going to put it on my butterfly itself. A bead of glue all the way down. In my center. And then I'm going to see how high I want my head and just place it on there. Hold it for a second. Again, I hid the slits that are in my clothespin. And that's it. Aren't they adorable? I don't think they took too long. I'm not sure exactly how long that took, but not too long. Isn't it cute? You can just casually do that, just sitting, talking to friends or whatever, you know. It's an easy in your lap kind of craft once you get it sewn, once you get it cut out. And that's it. You could color that if you want. You could put little antennae or whatever. But I think they're adorable. I can't wait to figure out how to use them. And I'd love to know how you're going to use yours. So hopefully you had a good time. And I'm glad you joined me. And I'll see you next time.